Hello, everybody. My name is Eddie Fisher. I'm here with CNT News. We're talking with James Paxton and Josh Ford, who are running for governor and lieutenant governor. James, Josh, how you guys doing today?
I'm doing wonderful. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me here today.
I'm
So
doing great too.
good. I'm glad, Josh. Glad. If you could go ahead and just tell me a little bit about yourself, Mr. Paxton. Who you are, what are your qualifications?
Sure. Well, my name is James Paxton, and I'm currently a state representative for the state of San Andreas. I started out as an attorney. That was my first sort of career path, and have been doing that for a long time. So I've always sort of been intertwined in the law a little bit. I got into real estate a few months back, and I started the company. It was called Paxton Divine Real Estate, and that ended up going to Jin Youngday, if you know who he is. So he's a good friend of mine, and I'm glad that he was able to do what he could with that company. But anyways, I decided to run about 3.5 months ago, run for representative. I didn't really know what would happen, and I didn't know if I would win, but I did. And I ran on a platform of ensuring that folks had the right to carry weapons if they were licensed to do so, that we could have a free and regulated airspace for people to fly, for companies to come up and build an economy around that, build a recreation around that, to bring in a parks department. And I've been very happy that I've been able to get those things done as a legislator. But just to speak to who I am, I'm a state representative, and I'm looking to be the governor of this great state.
All right, and Josh, if you don't mind just telling us a little about yourself.
Sure. I actually started out kind of similar to where we are today. I started out as a Weasel News reporter, and I actually then became a CNT reporter. After I found interest in journalism and criminal law, I actually decided that I was going to get I was going to become a member of the Bar Association. I took my bar exam, became a court clerk, and then I landed myself in the position of a circuit judge at the state of San Andreas court. It was a good time, but I felt like there's something bigger for me. And currently, I am a state representative after running in the July special election. It has been a privilege to serve the state as a state representative, and I am just super happy, and just want to continue it further with my running partner, James Paxton, as his lieutenant governor.
Yeah, what's up?
So what, James? What makes you so passionate about politics?
You know what?
What led you down this path?
The really corny answer, but the answer that really resonates with me is that I honestly want to serve the citizens of San Andreas. We all live in this state because we love it, right? We support what we are as a state, what the beauty of this state brings, the economy that this state brings, the culture, and you know what? Honestly, just being a citizen, and I want to make sure that the government can do their best to serve the citizens of San Andreas. I have a strong belief that government works for the people and not for themselves or big interests or anything like that. So as a politician, I'm very interested to have conversations with people on the street, give them my contact information, make sure that they're able to give me a call if they ever need anything, and just have that conversation. We might not always agree, and that's going to be how it is. Not everybody's going to agree, but I'm going to hear you out because I really do think that that the government should work for its people and not the other way around.
So jumping from state rep to governor is a big step. What really pushed you to do that?
Well, I've been in the representative role for a little while now, and a lot of what I wanted to get done as part of that stage of my career, I've been able to do. One thing that I'm working on right now is drafting a constitution for the state, and that's a huge thing, and it's kind of offered me a different perspective on things, and being part of that process, it really humbles me that I'm able to be part of that, drafting a document that's going to mean so much to the state, that's going to be what we believe in, what we as a people adhere to, abide by. So to me, that was very humbling. And taking that leap from state representative to governor, I find that I there's a lot that I wanted to get done, and there's a lot that I did get done. And I think not only is it time for a new slate of representatives to come in and, be able to pass their vision of the state, but I think that I can be an awesome asset for, making sure that the legislature has guidance when they need it, that they have someone with a lot of government experience that knows what they're talking about to come in and give them a hand, to come in and guide them if they want it. A big thing for me is I'm a problem solver. So if there's a dispute between two government departments, who do you want to pick up the phone? A guy that's got a lot of government experience, a guy that sort of knows the system very well and is good at problem solving, and that's what I bring to the table.
Okay, yeah. So you mentioned the Constitution. What was that process like?
Well, it's still ongoing. And so we passed a resolution basically that created a committee. It's a committee that I chair as a Speaker of the Legislature, and Josh is on it. When I passed the resolution, I made it comprised of all the legislators, the representatives, the governor, 3 members of the judiciary, and 4 members of the Bar Association. So it's 13 members in total to give a good swath of different opinions and different legal knowledge. And it's been a process so far. It was clear that everyone had their own strengths. So we all sort of split up and worked on what we really knew, what we were very passionate about. And we came together to sort of make decisions on what we thought was right for the state. It's been good. We've got a lot of it drafted so far.
Okay, so what is your ultimate vision for the next couple of months that you're in office? So, what are you really hoping to achieve?
A government that runs smooth, a government that operates on a day-to-day basis for the needs of its citizens, a government that cares about the people in the state and not about itself. And for the most part, our government doesn't care about itself. It cares about its citizens. I couldn't be more proud to work with the people that I work with in the legislature who every day that they come to work, they care about what folks think about. I mean, we have Josh Ford and Endeavor Jackson, Bex Lawson and Cash Keller and myself, and we're all out there talking to different people, getting different viewpoints, trying to think of the best way that we can serve citizens. And I see myself in this role where I don't want to interfere. I'm not going to tell them what to do in the legislature. It's not my prerogative as governor, but I'm there to make sure that what they're passing is truly in the good interest of the people of the state. That bills that I sign my name onto as governor potentially, would be there to serve the people. And so I really want to focus on making sure that our government departments are working together smoothly, that we can have regular cabinet meetings with all of our executive department leads, from medical services to law enforcement to the Department of Commerce and Labor to the San Andreas Flight Authority. Just about every department under the sun. I want to have regular meetings. I want to have open channels of discussion. And when there's disputes, because they happen, in government, disputes happen. And I want there to be someone in the room who can bring both sides together and find out what's the best way forward for this state. What's the best way forward for both parties? And that's where I see myself fitting in as governor.
Sure. Do you have any plans to tackle the rate of crime within the state at the moment? Do you have any ideas of how we're going to deal with that as a state and as a government?
Well, I know we're constantly trying to get feedback from law enforcement in terms of updates that we can do to the code of law. We have been very supportive of law enforcement and will remain supportive of law enforcement. The rate of crime is always an issue, and it's just one of those things where there's no simple answer to it. It's a lot of small things that have to come together to build this big protection against that crime. And I think that working with the department heads, that might be something that we might be able to do. Working with the newly established Department of Corrections to make sure that people, if they do get into trouble, are rehabilitating or not remitting on their crimes. Maybe offering some sort of incentive to people to not remit or find a way to reintegrate them into society. It's a very tough question, and I wish there was a simple answer, but it's just one of those things where there isn't.
Yeah, prison reform is a huge topic, and how to rehabilitate people is a huge topic right now. Another big topic that we've got going on right now is unemployment. As far as I know, the state unemployment is fairly high. Do you have any ideas for that?
Well, I've always been very supportive of local business. I mean, from the folks that have always helped me out in my campaign or even day to day. I mean, I owe a lot to, I don't want to say too many names. It's an interview with the public, but there's a lot of businesses out there who are very supportive of the small business community, supportive of the citizens of Los Santos, and they're hiring. I know folks that are hiring in the business. You just got to kind of put your name out there, go talk to different business owners. And I think that they will be willing to have you if you want to work, right? You kind of have to figure out what percentage of your population is not working, but what percent of your population is looking for a job, because they're different numbers. And anyone that's looking for a job, maybe we can establish a help wanted system, where we could talk to various news organizations, CNT, Weasel, and maybe try and find a way for the government to sort of subsidize a help wanted for these new businesses that are up and coming to get employees. I think that would be awesome.
Okay, yeah, excellent. Now this is the part where I kind of like
Can you hear
open
me?
it up to you guys.
It's kinda loud.
You get to talk
Hold on.
directly to the
Oh.
public. Really say, no questions asked. Say whatever you'd like to say.
Well, sure. Well, you know what? I'm just going to say, whatever happens with this election to the public, I want to thank you for my last election. The last 3.5 months have honestly been the highlight of my life. And I know no matter what happens in this election, I'll have been proud to have served in the government of San Andreas, from the San Andreas Flight Regulations Act to the Government of San Andreas Act to the Open Carry Law to the law that established the park rangers to so many others. I mean, we passed code of law amendments, we've passed all sorts of things. And if you just take a look at what we've done for the people, if you take a look into our legislation, if you ever have any questions, just ask, but take a look and see what we've done and see maybe you don't agree with something. We now have a mandatory 1-week waiting period between when we put a new law in, when a resolution gets passed. Talk to your state representatives. Reach out and communicate. Talk to your government employees, because we're here to serve you folks, and that's what it's all about. I hope that I get to meet many of you during my campaign, and I hope that many of you will support the strong and experienced leadership that I will bring to the table. I will vow that I will always spend my days fighting for the citizens of San Andreas, for the good of the state, and I wish that you would support me in that vision for the state.
And Josh, anything to add?
Yeah, I just want to ditto what Paxton said. I mean, we have experienced leadership here, and I hope, everybody takes into account that you do have the right to vote. You're watching this, you may not express your right to vote, but I do encourage you. Every citizen here has the right to vote, because we want to make sure that everybody has their voice heard. If you want to complain, we want you to have that opportunity to make a difference and resolve those problems. And that's why you can vote. Vote for the representatives and the governor that you believe are going to be the best for you, whether it be Paxton or someone else. We want what's right for you, and we believe that we have what is right for you. And, we appreciate everything, and we appreciate everybody's support. And thank you. And pick Paxton.
We really appreciate you guys talking to us today.
Oh, we appreciate this conversation. It's been great.
Oh, absolutely. I've been Eddie Fisher with CNT News. This is James Paxton, Josh Ford, Governor and Lieutenant Governor. Thank you guys, and have a great day.